Any opposed? Okay, we're gonna move on.
All right.
Oh, we were asking what was the last and forth, so when I said any all in favor, and then each down, and then said any opposed, we want to make sure no one raised their hand, hearing the voice of any opposed. Okay. Good morning, everyone on Zoom and here live. I want to explain where we are. We've had technical difficulties with the Department of Human Services YouTube account not allowing us in to do the live stream. So we have transitioned to using Zoom, and hopefully in the future, in the next meeting, we will have better success with being able to use Zoom. Thank you again for your patience. Okay, so now we are going to get the meeting started. Good morning, everyone. Oh, why all the low faces? You're so quiet. Come on, let's get excited. Good morning, everyone. You're on the Zoom. They can see you on the camera. So wave to everyone that's on Zoom. Tell them hello. Okay. So as we get started, we're going to start with calling roll or roll call, and Lisa will come up to do the roll call. Okay.
Marina Terry. Tiffany Kelly. Andrea Levy. Robin Beeman. Here. Kay Costetter. Here. Austin Nichols is not able to be with us today. Monique, I believe, is with us on Zoom. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, thank you, Monique. John Johnson. Carl Sherrard. Meredith Bailey. Jennifer Dean. Holly Allen. Cody Ogle. Don't believe anybody from Hands and Voices is with us. Mandy Dockery couldn't be here today. John McMahon, we have an announcement about soon. Alex.
Present.
Carolyn Wolf. Here. Tyler Samuel. Here. All right. And we do have a quorum.
Wonderful. Next on the agenda. Are there any changes that need to be made on the agenda? Okay.
Yes, I would just like to add under section 10 or X, the TCDDBHH initiatives. Discussion of the interpreter licensure task force. Christie has agreed to speak on that, and I'm grateful. Thank you so much.
Lisa,
Thank you, Kate.
I don't know if you want to add what we had talked about earlier, or if that's just under announcements at the end. It's up to you.
I was gonna put it under council reports, so can we add also Alex Pelham to present under council member reports?
Thank you.
Thank you, Alice. Anything else? Any other changes or additions?
Do we need? Sorry, Lisa. Do we need to add that we're going to have to elect a new temporary vice chair? So we should probably put that right under the approval for the minutes, right? Get that done before we actually get going. Okay.
Okay, so we will add the vice chair discussion under the minutes and TCDDBHH initiatives, interpreter license. And then also we'll add Alex under the council report. Is everyone in agreement? We'll close that discussion. Right, making sure everyone is clear, we're closing the discussion and taking a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That is passed. Next. We want to have approval of the minutes. Have you read the minutes? And Jennifer has a comment regarding the minutes. Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Jennifer. I'm the representative for TSD, Tennessee School for, excuse me, TAB, Tennessee Association for the Deaf. I wanted to ask, I'm curious, just asking you all, the council, you all read the minutes, correct? My question really is, my understanding is the minutes are for the purpose of to keep everyone and keep you informed. For example, when we don't go to the meetings, that would help us to catch up, to be prepared for the next meeting. Would you all agree that the concept behind having meeting minutes? Okay, right, I just want to make sure everyone is quiet, so yes, no, maybe so. Yes, okay. Just so you know, my background is an educator. I taught English for over 20 years, and so having audience participation is really critical for me. So with the meeting minutes, do you all feel the minutes are sufficient to make people who may have missed the meeting feel they are caught up for the next meeting? Do you feel the the quality of the minutes are sufficient? In my opinion, there needs to be a lot more information included in the minutes. For example, the minutes should say this person made a report, but it doesn't indicate what was included in that report. And so we'll have multiple reports that happened, but not enough information that identifies what that report said. But before I make a motion, I also wanted to check, I checked with other councils, not this council, but I checked with other councils. And I noticed their minutes have lots of description and information, and I would really like to see that happen here as well. That there's more details in our minutes, so that each person who makes a report, there is a description, a paragraph that really explains what that report was about, so that individuals can truly feel caught up. And John, you have a comment? Yes, I agree. I would like to have a brief synopsis of what that report was about, as opposed to just a name and that they made a report and where they were from. So for example, I agree, myself, Jennifer, when I received the minutes and I read them, I thought, man, I really don't have enough information to feel caught up in regards to what happened in the previous meeting. So I do feel like the minutes are not so finished. I hope you all agree with me.
sorry, it's now that we're now that we're recording these meetings, does it make sense as well potentially to put a link with the minutes and then a timestamp as to when that discussion is going on? To where maybe we're not duplicating work?
As the person.
If the answer is no, I'm okay with that. It was just a thought.
As the person who does the minutes, that would be helpful for me, but I get the minutes from our transcripts, which are also available for someone if they request it.
And I just think with the recording and making the recording available, it may alleviate some of that problem.
So that would help me.
Yes, I understand. And my concern with that idea is that when you talk about minutes, it's having an official copy of the minutes, not necessarily just a link to watch 3 hours worth of a meeting and comments that happened during the meeting. So in condensing something that could potentially be 20 pages down to a few pages of what actually happened in the meeting, a synopsis that this person spoke on this. And so having someone that presented or gave a report, that they send a synopsis to Lisa, so she can just include that in the minutes, so that we can all continue to support each other in providing this information. So that others can be well informed. I don't necessarily mean having, a full transcript of 20 pages, but those who presented or provided a report that, they provide a good summary, not just a few sentences, but a good summary about their report and include that in the minutes. Don?
This is John. Yes, for example, if I'm presenting on, maybe speaking on 3 different topics or issues, maybe just condense those and a brief summary of each of those in such as bullet points. Do you think that would be sufficient?
Yeah, so I understand what you're saying. So yes, you may have this long presentation or explanation. And what I'm suggesting is, can condense it, not be as detailed, or I went to this event, this person sat by me on the left and this person's on my right. But yeah, I think that's a great idea, maybe having some bullet points and synopsis and some bullet points.
Yes.
I hope you all agree with me. But that would be a good thing that I think would be good for us, and my suggestion as a new member on the council. Okay, so for the official reason of this meeting, I propose that we add additional information to the minutes by each person who is providing a report, that they would give a synopsis of their report to Lisa to include in the minutes. Okay, anyone second? John seconds. Now it's open for discussion. Please hold 1 second. The computer is losing power.
Mine wasn't turned off.
There it is. It's on.
That's fine. Showing us. There's some.
Okay, I apologize folks for the little technical issues that we're encountering here, but, let me see, where were we? I believe we just opened for discussion. Yes, and John, thank you. Do you mind coming up to the front to make your comments?
Okay, this is John Johnson. Going back to the point I made earlier about the bullet points. In previous meetings, I know what we discussed, so it really hasn't been a problem for me, but I recognize that some people may miss the meeting. So, yeah, so they have to be caught up on what was going on. So I do think adding some statements, maybe a little bit of some explanation on the remarks, what we talked about. I think that is a good idea for the meeting so that people will know what's going on best or what's going on, and it'll be better for the long run. So yeah, it'll just give people a chance to catch up on what we're doing.
All right, any further discussion? Seeing no more discussion, we'll go ahead and close the time. And open the vote. So do you mind providing for me again your motion, so I can make sure that I'm reading that? So Jennifer stated, I move that the minutes include more information, including key points of each person's report. The vote is open, all in favor? Hands down, all opposed? We have one opposed, hands down, the motion passed. So now back to the minute. Are there any corrections to be made in the minutes? Being there are none, the minutes are accepted. I'm sorry, I'm a little thrown by all the cameras in the room. So the minutes have been accepted. Moving on. We now have the election of the new vice chair.
This will be a permanent position. Please keep in mind the vice chair must be a state employee. Doesn't matter if that individual is deaf or hearing, but they must be an employee of the state of Tennessee. Who has a nomination? Okay, just one moment. Let me ask first, who in the room is a state employee? Tiffany, Robin, Holly, Alex and Carolyn. All right, so these are the names which may be nominated. So the role of vice chair. Just, give me just one moment if you don't mind. John, just one moment. The role of the vice chair is to operate as a backup for me in running the meetings. That's pretty much the bulk of it. Am I correct? Okay, good. John. Did you want to nominate someone? All right, John nominates Alex for the position of vice chair. Alex, do you accept the nomination?
Yes.
Alex says yes. Any further nominations? All right, I guess we'll move forward with a vote on Alex for the position of vice chair. All in favor? Yay, raise your hand. Hands down, all opposed? All right, congratulations, Alex, Vice Chair Alex. Make sure you're here every meeting.
Noted.
Next on the agenda, we have an update from Tiffany with a report on the Department of Human Services. Hello, everyone. I'm Tiffany. And I have a few bits of information I'd like to share with you. The National Deaf Center team, state team rather, has been established for a few years now. And I believe last several meetings, I've actually tried to recruit some folks from here. We have our monthly meeting and we are looking for more participation. If you are interested in joining, you can certainly attend via Zoom. You don't have to be there in person, but we're always looking for participation and engagement. The focus of the team is to work on improving outcomes for our youth, adolescents, adults who are deaf, deafblind, or hard of hearing. That's pretty much it. So if you're interested in helping improve outcomes, please join our team. We're looking for representatives from TSD, TAD, TRID, VR, MHSA, TCDDBHH, TBAP, HKMC, the Deafblind Project, Disability Coalition, consumers, parents, Tennessee Hands and Voices, and reps from each center, as well as VRT and HLAA. Pretty much anyone. Sorry, interpreters. I'm going to hold off my update on mental health and I'll share that with you later. You may have seen me before speaking about the Synergy Project or Synergy Program. That responsibility now has been passed on to us. And the name of the program, it's been renamed now to DRS. The DRS Blind Services Strategic Plan
And so I want to share, we have 3 priorities. To develop a seamless coordinated system of aligned services. Strengthen the workforce and improve workforce management. Improve operational efficiency and user-friendly VR process. Priority number 2 is to explore innovative TBE expansion and business opportunity. Priority 3 is to really to build or really strengthen trust, the sense of trust, as well as to improve communication with the blind community. So the reason I'm sharing this with you is specifically for our deaf-blind community. We value that community, and this is a priority to us. We are establishing different work groups to focus on these priorities and commitments with specific timeframes. We also have Transition Tuesday. This is a partnership between Sensory, Transition, and Deaf-Blind Project. So our first meeting was a couple of months ago. We host this every Tuesday, not every Tuesday, forgive me, rather the first Tuesday of every month. And that's at 3:30, it's 3:30 to 4:30 Central Time. So we invite you to please join us. This is a place where we share resources, support, and information for our students who are deaf or deaf-blind, as well as for parents, for professionals, educators, basically anyone. For MST, I want to share the priorities that we have. This is across the state. We have collected an abundance of resources and abundance of feedback rather, and identified 3 priorities. Those are to designate staff and prioritize designated staff to projects. Prioritize designated direct communication. And to value ongoing community engagement. So these are the priorities that have been determined based on the feedback we've received from the community. But what we've been working on is the 8 counseling centers that we have right now for the deaf. 8 counselors rather, VRCMs for the deaf. 4 are fluent in ASL, or they are deaf themselves. So approximately 4 of the 8, that's half, and we're happy about that.
Yeah, and so the other 4 aren't deaf, but they have the degree that satisfies the requirements, and they will get training in deaf culture.
We are providing deafness 101 as a training for them so that they may acquire the necessary skills for each counselor of the deaf to ensure that they have the technical assistance and understanding how to work with individuals who are deaf or deaf and blind. So by establishing designated staff for our deaf community, that being one of the priorities, we see that that is something that we're already working on, and we will continue to strengthen. Communication is key. in all modes of communication. We're seeking to meet the needs and the communication requirements of each individual. Right? Just like the council, we also accept a variety of modes of communication. So in showing our value of community involvement and engagement, that is something that we've been about and we continue to be about. And we look forward to improving as well. Finally, I have our position update. We have 2 vacancies that are posted currently. So if there's anyone interested to join my team, you are welcome. So Washington County. There's an available position there. The request will soon be posted publicly, and we will let you know when that is posted. So again, if you're interested in joining there, I'm happy to recruit you. Please let me know. All right, thank you. And, oh, I apologize, one more thing. We're developing a flyer. We have this right here. We've developed and we want to share this flyer. This is an explanation of vocational rehab services for the deaf. We have a QR code on here where you can scan and access more information on the web. And I will email this to each of you so that you have a copy of this as well. We also have a version for our deafblind or blind consumers.
If someone who's watching this later, sorry. If someone who's watching this later on video wants to contact you or someone here that may not have your info, what's the best way to get a hold of you to show interest in participating?
Thank you for your question. Yes, definitely. You can contact Lisa. Or you can reach out to me, either one, and I will be happy to share my contact information. It's tiffany.kelly@tn.gov. Or again, you can reach out to Lisa, either one of us would be fine. The council members have all of our contact information, so please do feel free to reach out. Thank you.
Thank you, Tiffany, for your report. By the interpreters moving around, are you guys settled? Yeah. I did want to warn anybody, if you are trying to come up, please be careful. We do have several camera connections around the room that you need to be mindful of, so I just wanted to get that out of the way. And next, we are going to have the executive report from Lisa. Finally, I remembered to print out my report in big font, so I'm able to see my notes as I'm up here in front of all of you. I'm a bit of an old lady, so anyway, good morning, everyone. I'm so happy to see all of you here for our quarterly meeting. I wanted to give a big welcome to 2 new faces in the room. The first being Jennifer Bean. Whom you've already met, and she is a delegate for the Tennessee Association for the Deaf. And next is Kate Hossetter. And she is the new delegate for TRID, Tennessee Registered Interpreters for the Deaf. Thank you to the both of you for joining us. Welcome to our table. We're happy to have you here. At the last meeting, there were several motions made in February. I would like to update you on the status of those. And what's been going on since the last meeting. First, the council decided to send a letter to legislation to the Tennessee legislature about the written driver's test bill. About trying to ban interpreters when deaf people go to take their written test. So I wanted to thank Marina for helping write that bill. And I believe you've all had the opportunity to read that letter. We sent to our commissioner, Clarence H. Carter, for him to send to the Tennessee legislature. And the result of that, or I'd like to think this matters, but the bill was rejected, it failed. So, yay, that's great news for all of us. And I'm glad we all took action in that matter. The second, if any of you have seen our website recently, there have been a lot of big changes to it. One of the biggest changes is we've added a solidarity statement. So now, as of yesterday, and also a big thanks to John McMahon. He signed the solidarity statement in ASL, so that is accessible, and that is also there on the website. It was just uploaded. He did a beautiful job. Thank you to John. And he is also doing our announcement for the live stream. That is now not happening, but we'll get there. But I did want to read the solidarity statement for you, so that you're aware, and obviously you can all read it for yourselves as well. But it's in my report, so. The Tennessee Open Meetings Act requires that all meetings of a governing body be open to the public. Per the Open Meetings Act, the Tennessee Council for the Deaf, Deafblind, and Hard of Hearing is open and welcome to everyone. Regardless of where the quarterly council meetings are held, all deaf, deafblind, hard of hearing, deaf disabled, late deafened individuals, and parents of minors who are deaf, deafblind, or hard of hearing are welcome to attend these council meetings. And the third motion that I wanted to discuss was the council establishing a live stream platform for these quarterly meetings moving forward. And I added into my report that I'm happy to announce that you guys are able to watch it, which you may not be watching it now if you are using the live stream feature due to some technical difficulties, but that's all right. It means that we can only improve for next time, right? So we're all set up, and I want to give a big thanks to Sign Language Studios, who showed up at 7:30 this morning to get everything set up for us and have it ready for this meeting. And we also used some of Bridges staff support for this meeting as well. So thank you to all of you. For everyone who is here providing support for that, and also for everyone who is going to watch the recording later. Next time, you know, we're gonna be ready to go and we're gonna be prepared for anything that comes up. We will also be uploading the recording for this meeting, the DHS YouTube account after this meeting. Finally, oh, I forgot to add, there was a fourth motion I wanted to discuss. We did want to discuss paying the expenses for Marina Terry and John. Our chairperson and vice chairperson. To go to the parliamentary workshop provided by Knoxville Center for the Deaf. And that did happen on April 20th. So I know that Marina has some exciting information to share with us about that workshop. So I'm not gonna steal her thunder. I'll let her do that herself when it's her turn to come up. But again, thanks you to all of you for coming, for your patience, for your participation. For each individual that is here, and I just want to say that I truly appreciate you all being here. Thank you, Lisa, for your report. Next, we are moving on to unfinished business if there is any. Doesn't seem like it, so we'll be moving on. New business. And first, we're gonna have that deaf spot by Joshua Weinstein. Is he here? He is on Zoom. Hello, everyone. I'm Joshua Weinstein. You can call me Josh. I am one of the administrators for that deaf spot, providing, or the founder of that deaf spot, providing trainings. Inclusive trainings for, and spaces for providing products, services, and a website to, continue with 2 tech companies in Israel. And how to market their products, how to streamline their products. And also motion capture technology. That is placing different dots on the body to capture movement in terms of when somebody may be signing, for instance. So we have trainings regarding that. And also facial recognition and metrics for sign language users. And we are also working with one local company in Knoxville, ABA, Application Behavior Analysis. That is an LLC that we've recruited for trainings, and the goal of that is to have more customers who can include more deaf participants, and also companies who want to hire more deaf employees who can have these trainings and be more understanding of what it's like to work with them, while also providing consultations through Zoom. So if you know of companies or spaces that are wanting to become more inclusive, please have them reach out to me. We, especially coming from my perspective and the deaf lens as a deaf psychologist, wanting to work with people and to pay for those trainings and those skills to be learned by deaf individuals and for the deaf community. We've been doing this for the last 2 years and there's no limits. We don't want to just stick to Tennessee. As I said, we work with companies in Israel and North Carolina, and we want to expand that even more. And I'd like to put it over to you guys if there are any questions before I close. And now we're gonna say, are there any questions regarding Josh's presentation? Does not seem like it. And John is saying no problem. We're gonna say thank you, John. Means that I will also type my contact information in the chat if anyone wants to get in touch with me about the trainings, or consultations that I'm mentioning. And I will be available. Thank you. Next, it is my turn. We are going to discuss the parliamentary workshop. We're just gonna hold for a moment on the technology portion. All right, next, regarding the parliamentary workshop, it is my turn to report to you guys. Are you ready for it? Oh, you all seem so excited to be here. Are you guys not ready to hear my report regarding the workshop? All right. Let me look at my notes for just a second. Hold on up. First of all, I would like to send a huge thanks to the Knoxville Center for the Deaf for hosting that workshop. It was such a pleasure to be there, and it was such a worthy time to go and learn. We definitely need more opportunities like that. And I think it would be really nice if every center or nonprofit organization hosted that type of workshop, because there's so much information to learn about. And can you remember all of it? Of course not, but it's great to be able to refresh, and it's nice to have that information. So I wanted to thank Chrissy. And then there's somebody else I'd like to thank, Mark Ad. Let me look the last name so I don't get it wrong, just a second. Mark Apodaca. He himself is the first deaf person to be certified with a professional registration. Sorry, we're struggling to have the title. Professional registrant for parliamentarian. Sorry, an interpreter correction we had to take care of. So it explained the general understanding of nonprofit organizations, the bylaw structures. Also discussed board structures with four different kinds, that there are four different kinds, which I didn't know about. It was shocking for me to learn about and good to know. And of course, all must have three major things. The first being a mission, a vision, statement, and values. And that is important for every organization to have. Also to explain special reports, which I did not know about, so I'm still learning about things like that. The standard rules and reports for that. And expanding on those, the standing rules, and how those can be looked over, and I will actually send those to you guys later to be able to do so. It is responsibility of the board of directors to explain about our finance committees and other committees involved. And to explain how the board meeting runs, and it was just really great to know the entire process and everything involved. And the order of the proceedings.
Does anyone know the year the book of, for the Robert's Rules of Order was, created? I know there's 3 people here that went to the workshop. Come on, you guys. Yes, I know you're waiting for them. Well, they don't know, so you can tell us. The actual first book was in 1876. With 176 pages.
So imagine the first 176 pages till now in 2020 with 714 pages. Can you imagine trying to memorize all those rules and all the standards and everything in that book? It would be impossible. So it'd be great to go to more workshops like this to learn about that information. And then they also explain the roles of a parliamentarian and what that process looks like. They explained about the members for the Bill of Rights, which was new information for me as well that I didn't know about prior to going to this workshop. They explained the different kinds of motions that there are. Do you guys know how many different kind of motions there are? 13. There are actually 13 rankings of different motions. Trying to memorize all those? I don't think so. So it was great to have the workshop. And then there's also information from my consumer report, which I will get to you guys later. But thank you for allowing me the opportunity to go, and I want to thank you all for that.
All right, next on the agenda are council member reports. So, Marina, I'm already up here, so I'll start us off. I've been approached by several members of the deaf community. And well, there was one person who was almost arrested due to lack of communication. You remember before we used to have those driving cards that we could point, you know, or we could write notes and say, I need an interpreter, I can't read lips, things like that. I haven't seen those for a while, so I would like to revitalize those, bring them back and see if we could do that and then report and then send those out to people. So just an idea from a community member. Okay, so I guess in general, people have come up to me and asked how they know that, you know, each center is a nonprofit organization and about their board meetings. And so I think that there's not enough information about those, where they can find that information as to where those nonprofit agencies, when their boards meet. If they want to get in on those meetings, I gather some information. So for those of you that are nonprofit organizations, if there's a way that people can know when those meetings are, so they can have access, I think it would also be a good way maybe to pull more members onto your boards as well. So just something to think about, and you know, I mean, you just never know. There could be a board member in the making that attend those meetings. So some of you, again, who are nonprofit, our nonprofits, just want to make that information more public. I'd love to help give that information to the community, but right now there's not a whole lot. So that's all for my report. The next council member will be Carl. Let me make sure I get your name right. Hold on. Carl Shepherd. Okay, I need a place for mine. No, it's here. Hello, my name is Carl Sherrard. I'm from the Chattanooga area. So I want to give you a little update on what's going on in my area where I live. I always go to partnership. They have deaf services there, of course, and it's for family, partnership for family and children's and adults. They have lots of good programs there. They have ASL classes, American Sign Language classes that are ongoing, and those are growing. And those are taught by China Garza. The second thing I'd like to make known is that there are some workshops as well, some other emergency workshops. Well, the severe thunderstorms, things like that. Those workshops are free and that's a very good program. I really enjoy going to those. Thirdly, family-friendly events are planned. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. Hold on one second. Yeah, okay, so there's some family events of all sorts. Fishing events, they have frisbee and disc golf. Well, that's the first time I've ever heard of what disc golf was, but it was a fun event, and they also had beach day as well. Okay, I did have a fourth point, but I'm going to skip over that for now. They, of course, they provide interpreters for meetings to discuss clients' social security with a Medicare representative. Her name is Misty, and Misty is an insurance expert. So she's been a big help. Let me see. Okay, my next point is Chris Davis, who is the new director. He's doing a great job there at Partnership. Everyone there loves him. And he's very engaged with the deaf community, reaching out to them and helps to set up new events for the community. Okay, my seventh point is that Partnership is going to be partnering with HLAA. Okay, did your arm tired for holding that paper? I have lots of them to talk about. Okay, so again, we're partnering with HLAA for their event called Walk for Hearing. And that's actually I think it's gonna be here in Nashville on June 22nd. Yeah, so that will take place here in Nashville. Also, the Chattanooga area needs some donations as well to help. You can visit online at www.walk-4 hearing hearing.org/team TEAM/5222. So we would really appreciate donations and support for this event. Thank you. All right, Carl, thank you for your report. Next on the agenda is John Johnson, who is the deafblind representative. Hello, this is John Johnson again, representative of the deafblind consumer group. The first thing I want to report on is I would like to ask for all of you. Not just, the director, not just the center directors, I'm speaking to everyone here. It's really big for the deaf, blind, and hard of hearing communities, deaf plus communities. And via captions for the card, you can go ahead and put that California version up that I sent you prior to the meeting. Do you have that? Okay, so that's IHSS. IHSS stands for In-Home Supportive Services. And basically, that's a very interesting program. It's for people with disabilities and also for senior citizens who may be at home and not able to get out very much. If they can't get out and run errands due to mobility or transportation, IHSS, they support those folks. And to help them get out of the house and get into the community, maybe take them to the mall, take them wherever they want to go. Up to 66 hours a week. So that is a program run by Medicare in California. Medicare puts the bill for that. And it also includes deaf, blind, and community members as well who are in those areas. So it's really great program. Okay. All right, now, captioner, if you'll go to the Tennessee version that I sent you. Okay, so I was having lunch with a friend of mine and getting caught up, and I was wondering, I wonder if we have, services like this here in Tennessee. So what I found, it seems like in Tennessee, it's Tennessee Home Care, that project. I looked into that a little bit, and it seems to be sort of the similar program as they have in California. I haven't done a deep dive in it yet or research, but yeah, so it's for people who are deaf, blind, deaf and hard of hearing kind of community members if they need help. I'm not sure if they're included in this program or not, but I'd like to ask you to maybe roll up your sleeves and see maybe a Disability Rights Tennessee can get involved in something like this. But I think we need to do this as soon as possible and make this project known, and maybe we can make an announcement about that. I think that would be great. Okay, on March 21st, there was a deaf blind game day. It was a statewide event. And we had a lot of, at first I thought Chattanooga, we had one interested, but Knoxville brought some, Bridges, that's for the deaf and hard of hearing in Nashville. We all partnered on that. And, we couldn't, some of us couldn't drive to Knoxville because it was going to be, because it was going to be late. So we worked with, Bridges to make that event known. And again, it was statewide. We had some problems, but Chris Davis was very willing to help. So I want to thank Chris for his participation in that event. And then my last announcement is, I'm not sure if we have discussed this enough or not. We have a little bit, but there are some deaf consumers who have criticized me a little bit. I have about private live, and I'm just trying to be very careful because people out there can take your credit, and so when people take your credit, like your identity, they get the ideas like that, and I'm not really focused on that, but please just get involved, help us to improve the quality of life of the deaf blind consumers here in Tennessee. They're often very isolated, and there's lots of people out there who really don't know a whole lot about our lives, like IHSS, that program, that in-home supportive program that was new to me and new to you as well. So I think it's important to take it upon yourselves, educate yourselves on what's out there. And not to take credit for it, just provide the information. So that's all that I have. Thank you. Okay, thank you, John, for that report. All right, I'd like to ask for a quick break, 15-minute break, if everyone's okay with that. All right, so we'll resume our meeting at 10:45.
What I did. Like, whatever LTE.
Just watch this burger.
They try to take care of it. So I don't- Like give him every possible opportunity to do stuff. Can I get back in? Like,
Yeah, someone else, yeah. I'm sorry. Just be.
Hey, Tim.
Oh,
He found that bridges for him
yeah, that's.
and partnership for.
And I also on the wall for hearing. That's the one thing. Managing. Yeah, I'll be looking at the next year, I'm doing the managing from here. So thank you for joining.
Everything else.
Very happy. Okay, all right. Thank you. Oh. Yeah, Thinking enough to be dangerous. Don't use it and I've lost it. That's what it is. If you don't use it, you lose it. Oh my gosh, I'm dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't need to. Oh, I can see. Yeah. Oh, got it. Okay, now I understand. Yeah. Now I understand. And I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Just all the way, you know. I'm sorry. No, I've got a little. You're awesome. If it would have worked, it would have been better, but it's okay. It's so working, but it. Yeah.
It should be off the line.
Okay, yeah. Grew up.
It's just like all of a sudden, I felt like, oh, I'm older. It wasn't as
Yeah. Oh, rather than so. I was starting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I mean. Yeah, yeah. I usually don't have it, but So like. You know. Serious.
Okay. I've never been to Philly. Yeah, graduation fantasy stuff, yeah.
Or even, I don't, shop it out. More like that.
It's so, right.
That makes sense. Maybe it's ready.
Yeah, I think I've been to all the New Zealand and Nashville.
I think when I told them that, I'm gonna about that. Never.
I gotta go there.
Yeah.
It's very good. Very, very good.
I mean, it's different.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just so nervous.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn on the my phone.
Yeah.
I'm very nervous about that. I don't, nobody should have mommies, I promise.
Well, I've always liked classical music and musical theater. My first show I saw was Phantom of the Opera. And it's a musical. They have like operas. If you have them here, it's fantastic. And
I found my business here.
Right. No, yeah. It's separate.
Right.
So.
Yes, you know, myself. So this no one is trying to. Yeah. I wish I had been able to see Catherine Battle say my name.
I'm not worth it. In the negative, so. You pay me, yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
I've got no idea, I've done. I'm very excited. I think one of our three workshops.
I'm just letting you know that how you start this. Well. That's the only question I had for you. Oh, you won't go down. Yes. I think we're waiting for one more. Is Austin back? Oh. I apologize. Austin is not here today. My apologies. All right, everyone, we are ready to resume. And next, we will have John Macron. Oh, wait, hold on one second. Let me back up. My bad. Eric is requesting that we make an announcement for a few corrections.
Okay, just real quickly, okay, during the break, the interpreting team were meeting, and we just want to make a couple of corrections to make sure that they're correct on the record, just a couple of things that were missed. When the discussion was going on about, Marina writing the letter against the law, I think it was Boyce that she wrote a bill, so that it needs to be changed to letter. She wrote the letter, not the bill. One thing that was missing in Carl's remarks was that for the emergency weather, the spot weather, they also have a free app that's available as well. That was not in the interpretation. In Carl's remarks about the emergency weather, spot weather program, that they also have a free app that is available. In John Johnson's remarks, we had the ever confusing issue of bridges and partnership signs again. Everything he talked about was related to partnership, except for he did say that Bridges hosted a game, the event flying game day here. They were one of the participants. For that flying game day, everything else should have been voiced as partnership. And then the last thing is, we just want to make sure for card purposes that the name of the presenter for the, let me say that better. Yeah, that person name is supposed to was misspelled here because we weren't sure, so we just want to at some point to correct the spelling for the record, so someone just needs to let Ken know what the correct spelling is. Okay, that's it. Thanks.
All right, thank you for giving me that information, and I actually have already during the break provided the captions with the correct spelling. Okay. So next, we have, for John McMahon, the deaf school, Lisa's actually going to come and report on that. So we do have some bad news. No, that's gonna, we need to wait, just wait one moment. This is my announcement here, what I'm doing now. Okay. Okay, so bad news, this is actually in tiny font. So, with my old eyes, I'll do my best. So John says, these are his words, he sent this email. It says, "Good morning, council members. This announcement is being signed out by Lisa Gremmel. Thank you for that. Unfortunately, I have been called to fill a role at the school for a state event. I would like to share that TSD has determined that a new TSD representative will be sent to TCDDBHH going forward, and I am thrilled to share that this representative is a known face and member of this council. Briella Diaz is the coordinator of TSD's Deaf Mentor and Parent Advisor Program and vast additional services provided within the program. She does amazing work for students and families across the state, and she even collaborates with individuals outside of Tennessee. Briella will be jumping in the seat, and please make sure to introduce yourselves to her. Going forward, I will miss attending the council meetings in person. However, you can bet that I will be joining in for those meetings via live stream from Knoxville. Thank you, everyone, for taking on that challenge to serve our members across the state. Over the last couple of years, I have been able to learn more about the services and available programs for our community members. And I am proud to say I am seeing amazing work taking place. Thank you for having me on the council. It has been a pleasure to participate in this council, and please do not be a stranger if you happen to see me around in the community or send me a message via TSD staff directory. Take care, y'all, and give Briella a big hand wave to welcome her. John. So now, if Briella would like to present, we would allow her that opportunity via Zoom. Hold on one second, though. Well, hold on. All right, thank you for having me here. I wish I could be there in person, but the schedule did not allow for me to be there, but next time I will be there in person. I am thrilled to see you all and excited to meet you all in person in the future. So now, just again, going back to what John McMahon was saying, for the next 2 or 3 sessions, I will be his temporary person here, replacing the position, because we have new family and community engagement specialists. And so that will actually start May 14th. And so our next meeting in the fall, that person will attend with me to meet you all and to get to know you all as well. Also, I do have a few updates in regards to things happening here at Tennessee School for the Deaf. So get ready, I'm excited to share it with you. And feel free to stop me or at the end, if you have any questions or comments or anything you want to share with me, please do so and I will give it to TSD. Okay, so our students have been busy. My word, there's a lot that's been going on in May and April. So we've just completed testing with TCAP. And now we are transitioning to MAPS. And there's just a lot of testing happening right now for our students so they can meet their academic expectations. Also, this morning, we just completed the final mile run. It was a 1 mile run on the Knoxville campus. And so we had high school students all the way to elementary students doing their best to run that mile and show their physicality. Then also last week, we had prom. The cool thing about prom is that the students got to decide, they said they didn't want just a normal prom. They wanted to go somewhere to prom and do something cool. So they went to a skating rink. And there were lots of students there and they had so much fun being together. Coming up on May 31st through June 2nd, we will have our annual Family Learning Weekend here on the Knoxville campus. Understand, this is a statewide event, so anyone is welcome, all family. You don't only have to be a family or a student here at TSD. You can be in the mainstream program at a school, in a private school. Any deaf or hard of hearing child and their families are welcome to come from birth to 21. Also, if there's a need for transportation or lodging concerns, there's no need to worry because TSD will provide transportation from Memphis to Knoxville, from Johnson City, from Chattanooga, from all over. We will provide transportation. So just contact us if you need that, and we will provide lodging as well. They can stay in the dorms and see what the new dorms look like, how the dorms are deaf friendly, and just have an opportunity to just really see what it's like to be at TSD. What do the dorms look like? What is our space here like? So Family Learning Weekend, anyone can come. And if you want to volunteer for that event, you can do that as well. Just contact me and let me know. Also, just recently in Knoxville, we went to the art museum and they had, they showed a deaf artist's work at the art museum. And so one student got first place for their artwork. And then two students got honorary mention. And we are so proud of our students and their art abilities. Also, graduation will be on May 16th. So of course, many middle schoolers and elementary schoolers are being promoted to the next grade, and we're just proud of our students and how well they're doing and getting them ready for the next year. Okay, also, West Tennessee School for the Deaf and Tennessee School for the Deaf in Nashville, the 5th and 6th graders did travel to visit the Knoxville campus to get an idea of what high school could look like for them, what the dorms look like, and a lot of fun they had when they came to see this big campus compared to their smaller campuses in those areas. Also, we will have a deaf mentorship and a deaf parent advisor happening here, council happening here, and those that want to be part of that training rather, please contact us. This is, we'll have parent advisors, and we're looking for more, whether you're hearing or deaf, you do need to have a degree, a master's degree, whether you have a master's degree, a social work degree, or any relevant degree, and you're interested in becoming a parent advisor, maybe it's a side job you want to just do and support our deaf and hard of hearing kids, please let me know. I'm sorry, I have a lot of information to share with you, so bear with me. Then also, the dorm students, they also set up their own chess club. And last week we had a tournament, a chess tournament, and the students, they went against the staff. And I was involved in that myself, and I thought, oh, this will be pretty easy, but no, I played chess for a while. But boy, was I shocked. With those kids, they really could play chess. I mean, some of them won the chess match in just a minute. Boy, was I surprised. Wow, I am so proud of those students. Then Tennessee School for the Deaf in Nashville, they just had a really fun event called where they had deaf firefighters come to their campus and explain how do they succeed as a deaf firefighter. They showed them their equipment and all the things they use. The kids were able to interact with the equipment that they had, and it showed them that you can be a deaf firefighter. Deaf people can do anything, and it was a really positive experience for our Nashville campus and for those students to experience that and have that role model influence. Also, we are hiring, we are expanding, so again, please spread the word if you know anyone who's searching for new opportunities to work with the deaf hard of hearing students. TSD is looking for more people to work here with our community. And last but not least, I want to talk about numbers. So this year we had more students enrolled than last year. And this year we have a total in all three campuses of 194 students. And that is wonderful. So we're thankful for those numbers this year. That's all I had for you all as part of my report. I know it's a lot of information. We're doing a lot here. So I wanted to share everything with you. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Yes, I can. Yes, John Johnson wants to know your email. Sure, I can send an email. I will type my email in the chat. Give me one moment. Okay, let me see. Here's my email is right here in the chat. So it's, you see it here on the screen. It's b.diaz@tsdeaf.org. I'm not sure where it is on the screen, if it's on the right, the left, top, the bottom, but it's in the chat. So again, it's b.diaz@tsdeaf.org. You can also go on the TSD website and look at the staff directory. You'll see my name and contact information there as well. Okay, yes, we're repeating the email for someone here in the room. It's b.diaz@tsdeaf.org. There's just one D in the email. Okay. All right, any more questions for Briella? Any comments? Jennifer said, awesome job, Briella. Thank you so much for having me come again. I look forward to seeing you all in person in the fall. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much, Briella. Same to you.
Now we have Meredith Bailey.
Do I need to come up there?
Up to you.
Stay over here, so I don't worry about the.
Okay,
board.
yeah.
Yeah, there's some.
There's mics around, so there should go.
Okay, Tiffany asked me to discuss what I'm actually doing in my business. So I run Vision Link Solutions, which is basically a blind services organization, but I deal with the deaf blind as well. I'm creating courses for transition students to gain employment opportunity, education, basically, for career goals, the ones that can't go to college, or if they're going to college, I have a program that I help them get through college. Sometimes that's the hardest part. They just need somebody to talk to and work things out. So that's what I've been doing. I've been working really closely with VR, trying to get these programs set up. My first one is vision related, but and it'll start in June. That's the hope. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. But I'm hoping to add more things like bookkeeping courses, so people can become bookkeepers, and other courses. Anybody that has any ideas for courses are welcome to email me. Lisa has my email. I'm not going to try to spell it out. It's really long. So feel free to contact me with any questions or ideas you have, and I'll try to make them happen. I'm willing to help anybody in sensory, with a sensory disability succeed. That's my passion in life. Thank you.
All right, John, did you have a question? Said I want to encourage, oh, give me just one moment. I'm gonna switch out with the interpreter here. You mind talking, planning? I want to encourage you to reach out to Dana Khan. That's the comment, great. All right, thank you, Meredith. Next, we have Alex Pelham with SEMA.
I'm going to try and avoid the courts as well. I'm loud, so the microphones will definitely get me. I'm Alex Pelham, the Chief of Staff at Tennessee Emergency Management Agency. I realize that not everyone knows what we do, so I'll give you a couple of sentences as to what we actually do, and then tell you about a couple of things that I think are pretty exciting and important that we have coming up. So we call it TEMA because it's a lot of letters and we like to make it short. But when disasters happen and emergencies happen, our team is the primary team that pulls together our local partners, our state partners, and our federal partners to recover from these disasters and to try to help people have some sort of normal back in their life. So parts of that happen before in what we call preparedness, some of it's after and what we call recovery. And in the part most people know about is the response portion. That's the police, the fire, public works, the kissing babies and shaking hands portion of disasters. I don't do that kind of fun side of disasters. I do other stuff. But so I talked about preparedness earlier, and nationwide, on every level, September is what we call National Preparedness Month. So one of the things that I have challenged our team to do is to look at different ways to have different effects on our communities. Not just the same stuff every single year, not the same canned messages every single year, not the same handouts and pins that click weird. That's not being good public servants, and it's not making us better. So with that, we have decided that this year our focused target audience, so we have general messaging that we do, but we also try to highlight either a part of our community, a specific hazard, or a need that we're going to focus on. So this year, TEMA's focused target audience will be blind and deaf Tennesseans. So one of the ways that we are going about this is the agency is purchasing a large cache of weather radios that also have the strobe and the pillar shaker attachments, so that important information in times of disaster can get to everyone in our community. Because until we take care of everyone in our community, we fail. So we want to work with this group, with the offices across the state, to find the best ways to distribute these radios. We're not going to come in and say we know best for everything. You know the communities better than I ever will. So we want to work with this group in order to plan on how to do that, as well as build relationships of how we can continue to do things throughout the year, every day, not just 1 month a year. So that is a very targeted approach, but there are also some other things that we're looking at doing. We're in the middle of a huge social media and website overhaul for the entire agency. And as a part of this effort, which is really spearheaded in September, we're looking at putting together preparedness videos with ASL interpreters so that the information is accessible to every single person. We're looking at having more compliant graphics, more community outreach opportunities. And one of those is in September, and it's an emergency preparedness expo on Saturday, September 14th in Cookeville. Sorry, I talk fast. So this is one of the areas we look at potentially giving out some of these radios, but also sharing information. So if anyone has additional ideas, has any desire to partner with us to make our impact better, like I said, you know the challenges, you know where the gaps are better than we do. I would love to be able to do that. You can get a hold of me. And my email is alex.pellom@tn.gov. Sorry. And for Kristen Coulter, and I'll connect you if you get a hold of me. She's our communications director. But there's also an opportunity for whether it's this commission or if it is a specific agency to be a part of this preparedness expo in Cookeville. So if there's no cost to be a part of this. So if you're setting a table up, setting a booth, that's something you can connect with me as well, and we can work with Kristen to get you involved. That is all I had planned on doing today. John, thank you for surprising me with that. It's much appreciated, never expected, and humbling, frankly. So I look forward to continuing to be here.
Katima. Oh. So much happened. So.
Yeah, he does. Yes.
Yeah, so we're very willing to partner with you and train you on how to communicate with the deafblind community. So we're happy to educate your team, because they probably aren't familiar with deafblind. How to communicate with someone who is low vision or blind, hardly hearing, they can't see you. Their hearing may be very low, their vision low. So there's different cultural aspects of this as well. So just reach out to Lisa Remmel or the HKNC, the Helen Keller National Center. And between those resources, we'd just all be happy to participate in that training for your team.
Just to add a comment, but it's always been a concern for me when there's an emergency announcement, especially on the radio, and not being able to understand it. But there's gotta be a way to send out text messages to the deaf hard of hearing whenever there's an emergency. I would like to see that happen on stage.
Yes.
Next time. So there are really two separate sides of this issue that I think I want to make very, because they're distinctly different. One is what we call an emergency alert, which is a EAS, the thing that has a very loud tone or goes across the bottom of your television. That is done at a very high level and has very high requirements that have to be met to push that out. In the county or city, they also have mass notification systems that have the ability to push out text along with voice. So I don't have a comprehensive list of every single one that's out there. However, most of these that are on county EMs or county websites are through vendors like Everbridge or Code Red, Rediop. There are different ones that you can see that we can provide. But most of your larger areas, at least, have these abilities to push out text along with that. Now, whether they choose to do that is a different conversation. So that's where us educating them, I believe, is the next step forward, so that they understand sometimes just a phone call is not adequate.
Put them on YouTube.
Excuse me. Can you give us just a moment? So I would love, this is Pearl, I would love to assist with that education in the different so with YouTube in regards to YouTube and videos being utilized in the future. There are actually several deaf individuals who are still learning about the emergency weather system, and I would be interested in being part of that. Yes, I wanted to say too, in what you were saying about the dissemination of text messages, if there is a link that could be included in those emergency text messages where an individual could click on that link and it would provide them with a video where the message is signed in ASL, that would definitely make it more accessible for our deaf members. Also, providing sign language on the television in those press briefings and those emergency announcements is truly vital for our deaf community and hard of hearing community, and especially for those where the English captioning is not really sufficient. It's not acceptable. All right, any more questions or comments? Okay, thank you so much, Alex. Next, we have the report on our state grants. Actually, we're gonna put a hold on that right now. Let's take a break. We've got Jennifer has some questions for you. So if you don't mind, Jennifer, if you would come up to the front for me. And we'll give you the floor. Hello again. Ooh, how do I look? So I have a question that I want to pose to the council, our members and representatives. I was reading through our bylaws and it came across to me, there's a lack of clarity in regards to each member's role and what it is that you're doing here in your particular role when you come. Is it simply to listen and vote? Is that the extent of your role and most effective use of your time? It's a question, yes or no? Is that your role? I'm seeing no responses. Oh, Carl, yeah. So I come here to learn. We have two at the same time. So Carl went first. John, if you give us a moment. Carl saying, no, I do come here obviously to vote, but it's also a learning opportunity here to understand what's going on amongst the community with different individuals and different groups within the community. So I feel like this is a vital place of sharing information and talking about the laws, getting involved, asking more questions and learning. Thank you so much, John. Yeah, I'm here as a representative for the deafblind community, deafblind hard of hearing community, and so that's my role is representing. And then IHS as well, you know, I have more and more that I'm doing. But voting, definitely making our voices heard, and specifically in representing the deaf and blind community. Thank you so much. That's beautiful. And I really appreciate you sharing that perspective. The crux of my question here is, are we really doing more? Should we do more with the positions that we hold on this council? So for Department of Health, Department of Safety, I'm trying to see who else we have here. TEMA, DMHS, VR, I can't see everyone. CARD, I can't see all the names, tenants. But for all the people we have represented here, is it a matter that we're simply coming and learning this information and leaving and doing nothing with it? In your position on this council, are we truly learning more about the deaf and hard of hearing group and community, and then going out to our respective positions in our different roles and sharing that information and applying that information that we've gained in these council meetings? Are we putting these words in action, or are we just learning and not really applying what we learned here in this council? Does that make sense? Yes, John, thanks. Right, our goal is to improve lives and the quality of life for the communities that we serve. And
That can be impacted by the laws and again, raising our voices. And there's some laws maybe that are on the books that are older and not getting the attention that they deserve. So applying what we learn here and sharing this with our deaf community, that absolutely is what we're doing. Okay, hold on just a minute. I understand and I agree with you, John, exactly. You yourself understand this completely. You are doing your part. You are out there putting your feet to the pavement and doing the work. But I want to ask even about the hearing community. For example, we've got the safety, Department of Health, we've got TEMA and so forth, who are represented here. So, and I'm excited that we have TEMA here now. We have someone here from these different departments, government departments, Department of Safety, you know. But my question for them really is, are you taking what you're learning here out to your organizations and making an impact? Is there an impact? Is there a benefit from your role here on this council? Is there a benefit for the deaf and hard of hearing and deafblind communities? Are you doing something with what you're gaining here on the council? Are we really making that effort? Are we hiring more deaf individuals in your organizations? And are you hiring more individuals who are hard of hearing? Or are we just coming and being seen on the council? That's my question and challenge to you, and I would like to hear a response.
I'll say, I think what I just briefed on is a direct result of me being on this council. You know. So taking what we've learned, taking what over the last couple of years, as I have had hearing loss, it has really brought it into perspective, some of these needs that people have that you don't know about until you are either forced into the situation or you learn about it in some tragic way. So the ability for us to touch every part of our community, this is another extension, and I think this is what was expected of us when we were put as a part of this in TCA.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for that. This is Carl. I'm very grateful for everyone who is here on the council and for the roles that we have in the community, the position and influence that we have to benefit the deaf community and ways that we can have impact on their lives. I have a lot of people ask me questions. And sometimes those are questions that I don't necessarily have the answers to, but I have the resources here within the council to get those answers. So that's very valuable to me as a part of my role here on the council, to have access to other resources when people come to me with those questions within the community. And I feel there's a great network that we share here for that gaining and sharing information with the community. Yes, John. I would like to add, we can all keep in mind with TCDHH, it's not only that community, we've got CODAs, we've got hearing members, we've got people with mental health issues, we've got all kinds of individuals who are being represented within the community that we serve. And we don't want any single person to feel that we are ignoring them by any means, to say we are only here for deaf and hard of hearing, and that all of this information is siloed. Rather, we want to recognize all individuals in the community we serve and welcome all individuals as well to partner with us in these efforts. That is perfect. Thank you so much. That is what I want to see and what I want others to see as well. And that everyone has a seat at the table here. And there is benefit to the council, to the roles and the positions that people hold on this council. It's not that we're showing up just to be seen and then nothing happens after. But what we do here matters. And it's not only Carl and John, but others know that as well. So I read through the reports and the minutes, and I see sometimes, like I mentioned, there's not a lot of information that's being captured there as far as we have our goals and we have our plans, but not as much being reported on status, like what is the progress? What is the process? Okay, there's data analysis going on, but what is being done with that data analysis? That's something I would like to see is, you know, I'm not a full-time employee. If I were a full-time employee in this type of job to have that kind of position where I'm being paid well, I would love to do that full-time. I have an education, I have my master's degree, I taught, I don't want to teach anymore with all the climate, the political climate that we have within the state. That's not something I'm interested in doing, but I really want to see, again, I'm grateful for TIMA and what you shared is really vital to our community and I'm grateful. But from the different departments, what I was reading in the bylaw, I just feel like there's not enough clarity. We need to have more clarity and we need to have more action. We need to do more. I don't know if that requires a motion. I'm curious what your thoughts might be, but this was something I just wanted to ask and I wanted to share and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Jennifer. Next is the state grantee report. Lisa.
I'm just gonna use my voice for this one. I usually try, oh, sorry. Okay. Usually try to do it half and half, so I feel like I'm touching every community. As far as the state grantee report, I want to let you know that a big, as many of you are already aware, because I've presented in this in the past, a big part of my job is to monitor the state grant and funding that each center, which by grantee we mean deaf center, that each deaf center gets from the state. And so I have over the last month been able to meet with 5 out of the 6 centers and go over their numbers. Everything looks good. Everything is going well. We do have the scope of services, which I'm not going to go into again today because you guys have heard me present that ad nauseum over and over. But so far, everybody is on track to meet their goals for the year. So that is exciting. And I think this is a really important place to recognize that for most of the centers, the funding that they get from the state is not their only funding. And so they have a lot of other people that they are accountable to. And we are just a small piece of that. I really wanted to, I don't want to take up too much time because I know we're getting close to the end, but I wanted to talk a little bit about the relationship between the grantees in the state and the relationship between the grantees and TCDDBHH. There's a real misconception that we as a council are the overseers of the deaf centers. And those of you who have served for a while know that's not the case at all. So like I said, this is just a small part of what they do on the daily. And one of those things that they do that, that I think is really important is that they too reach out, the way that we are structured. They too reach out, like Carl said, if he gets stuck with a question, he has a whole network of people here that he can access. And I know that the centers are working very closely with every single group that's represented around this table today. And that is the way that we mentioned the TCA, that's the Tennessee Code annotated, that actually started this organization and that governs this organization. And each role is laid out there, or the name of each organization that is to be represented around this table. And they all work very closely with the deaf centers, which is how it's designed to work. I mean, I hear a lot, especially a lot more lately, about, well, the council doesn't do anything. But that's why these reports are so valuable, because the council, as individuals, are working with the centers and are working within their departments. And so that's why these reports are so valuable. And thank you to all of you who participated today. I really appreciate it. But there is a lot of work going on behind the scenes that maybe nobody ever knows about. And it happens at the center level. And that's the way that the code determined that this should be. So I wanted to point that out. And also, as far as keeping people updated, I don't think that everybody knows this, but the council knows it. And so just by way of information, I provide at the very minimum bi-weekly, usually weekly update for everybody that kind of summarizes what we're working on, let you know what I'm working on, because I have a lot of additional responsibilities under my DHS VR hat. And that includes working with people who are deafblind, serving as the kind of deafblind services coordinator, and working with our vocational rehabilitation counselors, providing technical assistance, providing training to outside groups. And I try to keep the council updated about that so that everybody knows what's going on and what I'm up to, and so that we're all up to speed. So if you haven't had a chance to open those updates, I would love for you to. But all that to say, the grantees are doing a great job, and they're doing a whole lot more than just meeting their minimum numbers. And the data that is reflected is just a small piece of all the work that they do. And I appreciate each and every center that is represented here and the work that I get the pleasure of working with, because they're fantastic and they do amazing work. And you can see that reflected on their websites. But there's also a lot that happens that nobody ever knows about. So just to put that out there, you know, give some love to your local deaf center. They could use it.
Jennifer, I have a question for you. Oh, Jennifer has a question for you.
Jennifer, I have a question.
So you mean that you share the 2-week reports with all of us, or when you say that, do you mean that the centers are disseminating the information that you share with them every 2 weeks? So do you post it and they sign it, or what? I just would like some clarification. What do you mean by sharing?
It's only for the council members. It's my message to the council members, and they get that on the weekly, sometimes bi-weekly if I'm traveling. So that is the update that they get.
No, you said please share during your lunch.
Please share some love. Give your local deaf center some love. That's all.
Okay, sorry, I was not sure what was being said at the end. Thank you.
Sorry.
Okay, thank you, Lisa, for that report. Next, we are going to launch a TCDDBHH initiatives. And first, we are going to be doing the mental health work group from Tiffany. Hello again. I am Tiffany and I am reporting on the mental health work group. We've been meeting monthly. And we've decided to develop a survey for the community, deaf, blind, hard of hearing people who experience mental health issues. We are still in the process of developing that. There should be more feedback gathered from us this week. And once the survey is closed, we will be sending out information on that. There's been a lot of discussion about our goals, the role of the mental health work group during the monthly meetings. And so I think it's been going well so far. I meant to look at my notes before I got up here, but here we are. So the first survey is our current priority. And then more information can be shared with you all after we receive those results. Thank you. And this is Jennifer. I have a question. And I'm sorry, but I was reading the annual report. And I see it saying pretty much the same thing. They're almost side by side identical pieces of information. So I see that you set up goals and trainings, I'm sorry. To develop trainings is what I'm saying here. What trainings are you referring to? Do you mind expanding on that for me? This is Tiffany. I was just kind of presenting about the mental health work group. I didn't mention any specific trainings, so. And Jennifer saying it says here at Mental Health Task Force, TCDDBHH initiatives. So what were you referring to when you say that?
I do the annual reports every year. Sorry. I do the annual reports every year. And they have to be completed. So it goes on what, yeah, sorry. From my head.
Yes, I can see you now. For a second.
What happens is those reports are turned in annually, and so I try to report on what happened last year. Last year, Eric can report on, he said he would be happy to speak to that, which we're gonna pull him out of his role for a second. But the trainings that have happened, and every, no, I'm not gonna say your thunder, I'm gonna let you do it. So, anyway, Eric is the person who can answer that question.
Thank you.
So before I stepped down from that task force, I worked with Austin Nichols. And we developed a training for all of the state-run hospitals. And I went out to each of the statewide or state hospitals, the mental health hospitals, and provided that training on how to work with interpreters, communication, modes of communication, those type of things. So those are the trainings that we refer to. And what you're reading.
And then if I could add, what will go in this year is a lot more detail about things like the survey, because this is just happened. And so we actually are making, well, I would say they, I mean, we're there in the secretarial role, but making real progress into some forward movement. But you won't see that reflected in last year's report, because what Tiffany is reporting on just happened like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So my concern is, what we mentioned, Lisa, is the perspective on the council that we may be doing nothing. Obviously, that's not true. We have a lot going on. But one of the problems is we don't necessarily see it all. It's not written anywhere. It's not disseminated anywhere in specific that we're allowed to see the details of what are going on. There's nothing signed with the information for us to access. So when I look at this, I don't really see much. I'm wondering if that could be expanded on. I know it's been going on, as I've said, for the last 2 or 3 years, something like that, but I just want to be able to see the results of that, where the information is and what the specifics are. So it's just what I'm curious about as of right now. And I work for Sorenson right now, so I go to a lot of different places and see deaf people in group homes or wherever they may be. And it doesn't feel like they don't have, it feels like they don't have a person they can contact for resources or additional supports. And, you know, it feels like I'm just reaching out to the void saying all these people need help, but there's a lot of ambiguity. I just think there needs to be more clarity and more transparency on this information that's supposedly being shared. So that way the community can see, oh yeah, they definitely are doing their job and actively working towards making it better for this community. So saying, thank you. I was kind of confused when you first started asking me your question. I was just a little thrown off, but I do want to add that the task force, Eric, thank you for elaborating on that as well and providing more clarity. But now it has become the work group. It is no longer the task force. So we are focused on the trainings that have already been provided, and now we're moving forward with the information that we're getting from the survey that we will be giving out to everybody. And then we can provide more updates once that information has been collected. And Lisa can include that during her weekly emails, reports. That is definitely something we can provide to everybody. And new trainings that are coming as well. And have a massive comments on that. I'm really referring to the public. You know, the little people. We're the higher level working on all of this, but the community is unaware of this information. So that's really what I was trying to get at. Yes, I agree with you, Tiffany is saying. One thing that we have discussed is educating the community on mental health and what that looks like and what it means. So the survey is for us to start figuring out what information we need from these participants to give to the community. As you mentioned, you've experienced people who have mental health issues and we've gone into their spaces. So we want to be able to reach them.
And one thing that I'm hearing is that maybe what needs to happen is someone from the work group can kind of summarize what's going on, and we could post that on the website. Our website is becoming, for a long time, it's been very stagnant. And just in the last month or two, it's really come alive. We've got some videos on there. We've got a lot of links and information about the centers, those kinds of things. So my relationship with our public information legislative office has really grown in the last, probably, I would say 2 weeks, month or so. And I'm working very closely with them. They are getting, they got that solidarity statement video up there within a day. So that might be a good thing for the work groups to do. And then the community gets used to, as I've told a lot of people lately, all you have to do is Google. I think you can even just Google Tennessee Deaf Council. And it comes up. And so if you can remember TCDDBHH, it will definitely get you there. But I realize that's a daunting acronym. So anyway, I think speaking to, is that what you were speaking to, Jennifer, that you would like to see the work groups update?
Yes. Nothing. And I do want to add one more thing, this is Tiffany, I know we're almost out of time, I'm sorry, but we need your help. Our group is very small as a group. So we definitely need your help to be able to, and so we will be reaching out to all of you to get more help. Thank you.
John, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Maureen says, all right, thank you for all that information, Tiffany, for on your report. Okay, the Deaf Mentor Program updates. Briella? I think so. Thanks.
Oh.
Okay.
Do you want to tell her?
All right, I'm the same person, just have my hair up in a ponytail now, but, and I'm also changing hats, to talk about the Deaf Mentor Program and the Advisory Parent Council. I've already mentioned that in my previous report. I'm not sure if, I'm gonna have the opportunity, I didn't know if I was gonna have the opportunity to come back to that again, so I will repeat that, briefly about the PA, the Deaf Mentor Program, the Parents Advisory Council. We received permanent funding last spring, which is going to be in place for a year. So we're very excited about that we're gonna keep, and we hope that funding continues annually. So we've been through a lot of changes also with our systems, with how we collect data, staff changes, et cetera. So there's been some growing pains, but they've all been good. This summer, we're gonna have that National Deaf Mentor Training, like I said, and the Parents Advisory Training. It's called Sky High Training. The Parents Advisory Training is in 2 parts. It's a 6-day training in total, and the Deaf Mentor is 3 days. So both will be in Nashville. Again, if you know of anyone who may be interested in participating in either of those, or if they want more information, if they're unsure what it is, please have them reach out to me and I can give them more information. We have a total of about 40 deaf mentors and parent advisors. So we hope to add about 10 more this month, possibly more as we go through the summer. That pool will grow. So I'm going to back up quickly. The Deaf Mentor Program and the Parent Advisor Program, they're sort of like branches, if you can picture them that way. The Deaf Mentor Program and then the Parent Advisory. And then we also have something called snapshots. Now, not Snapchat. A lot of interpreters often mispronounce that. I want to make sure it's snapshots and not pronounce the Snapchat. So that snapshots is an opportunity for family members or just anyone who may have an interest in the deaf community to ask their questions about deafness, about American Sign Language, about deaf culture, deaf history, etc. So, for example, sometimes people will ask, can deaf people drive a car? That's a very basic question, as we all know, but some people get really annoyed when they get asked that question and their answer response is, of course we can drive a car. But if you're a parent and you go to social media and you ask, can deaf people drive a car? Many people will make really nasty comments about how ignorant you are and you don't know, you don't understand. It really debilitates them from asking those questions. So snapshots is a safe space for parents and family members, anyone to just ask their questions. They're quote unquote, stupid questions. So we do support parents in that way and to help them understand what it's like to be deaf. So we also have a shared reading project as well, where we teach parents how to read in American Sign Language. So right now we have about 27 families in the Deaf Mentor and Parent Advisor Program. And we have about 14 and counting families in the shared reading project. And then with snapshots, That's sort of a one-time thing, parents come in and out, it's not a continual meeting group, so those numbers are really good. But I know we could always do better, but really sharing your support, get involved in these programs, and that's how you can get involved with us. Are there any questions about what I just talked about? Jennifer? Jennifer says, when you say nation or national, do you mean like national meaning people from across the nation, or are you talking about people have to come on site, or is it a online training? Like if people come on site, does that mean that you'll pay for everyone's accommodations and travel, or do they pay for those costs themselves and you, like, do you just cover their lodging? Can you explain a little bit more about those aspects? Briella says, absolutely. So maybe I wasn't clear. So the national training means like national from across the nation? No. I just mean national, like a national trainer. So we have 3 national trainers coming in who are certified national trainers. So they will be coming to Tennessee. So that's what I was mentioning. I was excited about. I was excited to get those 3 national trainers to come to our state to provide training here. And then going forward after the summer, then we can provide training to deaf mentors going forward. So I really had to follow their schedule and coordinate with my schedule. So that's going to happen this summer. And the parent advisory, we're going to have Tracy Duncan. She's going to be our state parent advisor coordinator. So anytime after this summer, if you're not really sure what that would look like for you, I don't know what she's going to be doing exactly. But for that training in the summer in Nashville, yes, we are very blessed to have partnered with REAL, REAL. And it stands for Regional Early Acquisition of Language. So that's a federal program under Gallaudet University and the Clare Center. So they are going to be sponsoring that. And they are doing this for the Southeast region. I think there's 12 states in that region. And it also includes Guam and Puerto Rico and those islands, the US territories. I think there's like 12 or 13 areas in total. So that money is going to support all of those states and territories for language acquisition for deaf and hard of hearing ages birth to 3. So there, we have a lot of financial support, and we have a lot of different agencies that are focused on supporting our deaf and hard of hearing children, again, ages birth to 3. So because of that collaboration and the funding, the hotels, the meeting space, all that is paid for, meals, everything is included. So all you have to do is show up. So if you're interested in coming to that training, if you need a place to stay, we will provide those accommodations, a hotel room, meals. I think the dinner is on your own. Jennifer, I think you were involved in that training, so it'll be very similar to what you went through. And I can't see Jennifer very well, and my speech is far away, so.
Can we invite people from outside of the state, or is it strictly for residents in Tennessee?
I'm open. If they live in a neighboring state to Tennessee. Like, for example, we don't get a whole lot of attendance from the Memphis area. For either the deaf mentor or the parent advisory group. So if there's someone who lives across the river in Arkansas and, goes to Memphis for services, we can, or we have several families in Clarksville, which is a north area of Tennessee that's on the state line with Kentucky. So I'm open to families who come into Tennessee for services, Alabama, Georgia, Virginia, West Virginia, just the entire area. So just reach out to me and I can talk with you further about that. But we do want to prioritize Tennessee families and the people here in our state. But if we have some spots open, then sure. Okay, so this is Marina again. We are running out of time. So I'm sorry to realize I have to cut you off. We do just have one more item left, and that's the interpreter licensure. And then once that is over, we have got to cut the meeting off because we are approaching 12 o'clock. So the interpreter licensure group, who's speaking on that? Hello, everyone. My name is Chrissy. I'm the Executive Director of the Knoxville Center for the Deaf. I'm quickly going to brief you on what's going on and fill you in a little bit. The Tennessee licensure. We set that group up because people in the community have approached me several times about an interest in interpreter licensure to improve the quality of interpreters here in the state. Currently, there are no laws or licensures or anything in the state at all. So we set up that work group. We have about 10 deaf members as well as 10 interpreters. And we meet on a monthly basis. And we have been since July. Right now, we're sort of in the meeting stage and reaching out to the different communities. So right now, we're trying to sort of get a pulse for what the communities want. And once we get all that feedback, we develop a survey with the same idea in mind. So we have a survey for the deaf community as well as a survey for the interpreters. And we're just going to collect the data. We feel like that's the first step. And then once that's over, so after this month and we get that data, that's really going to help guide us about how to set up licensure, which is not an easy task. It could take years. So I do think everyone who has been involved, if you want to be involved, please reach out to me. I'll be happy to talk with you, but I know we are out of time, so I'm going to go ahead and jump off here, but good seeing you all. Marina says, all right, thank you so much, Chrissy. I'll let you turn around. Thank you so much, Chrissy, for that report. Okay, we are at time, so I want to respect that. If there are any other comments or announcements or motions, please reach out to Lisa. Then we will bring those up at our next meeting. Thank you to everyone. Have safe travels going back home. And let's wrap it up. We're adjourned. Oh, okay. You really sound like you're going to say something.
Because we have agreed.